Hi, I'm Soren Kaplan, and this video is going to give you an overview of innovation process best practices. It's based on a design thinking model. There are 4 steps in this model. It's very simple. Empathize with customers, ideate, come up with a whole bunch of ideas, prioritize those ideas using certain criteria, and then once you know the top ideas, you experiment and you figure out which ones really have legs and are the best. You might repeat this process with those ideas, or you might then just go to market. But what I'm going to share with you are the specific tools that you can choose to use within each of these steps that build on each other. So for example, you have Empathize. The goal here is to deeply understand the pain points and the needs and the preferences of your customers. So what you do here is you can do interviews, you can observe customers through ethnographic research, but the goal is to understand those customers and then capture that understanding and insight through empathy maps or customer problem statements or a jobs to be done list of priorities, and you score those jobs to be done in terms of what your customers care most about doing. And you can also use certain tools like outcome-driven innovation. The goal here, though, is to deeply understand your customer and then figure out how to prioritize the needs and pain points that then should inform what you brainstorm and ideate on, which is the next step. So once you know those customer needs, then you want to come up with a whole bunch of ideas. But you don't want to just start brainstorming. Typically, you want to look at the kind of ideas you're trying to create. Is it a disruptive innovation? Is it a white space innovation or a blue ocean? Are you trying to come up with just incremental improvements to what already exists? Once you know that, then you can come up with strategies for coming up with ideas. Is it just simple brainstorming? And there's brainstorming processes and tools like Scamper or the 6 thinking and listening hats. But then there's other more strategic ways in which to generate ideas through crowdsourcing, contacting your network and pulling in their ideas, or using open innovation where you put out challenges and look at emerging technologies and so forth from other organizations. But the goal here is just to come up with a whole bunch of ideas based on the scope of what you're trying to generate. But once you have a lot of ideas, you need to figure out which ones are the best ones. That's where you prioritize. So there's a lot of different ways to prioritize, but essentially you want to just set some criteria, and then you can use tools like the innovation matrix or portfolio management to score and rank those ideas, see which ones bubble up to the top. You might have more than you can handle still, which is an opportunity to use things like concept screening or map those ideas on S-curves in terms of the technology lifecycle. Look at the phased roadmap you might create, or a horizons model. You might not be able to do everything tomorrow, but some things might be long-term and you want to include them in your roadmap. So the goal here is to score, rank, prioritize the ideas, maybe place them on a short, mid, and long-term roadmap so that you know what you could develop and when. Once you have that prioritization, then you take the best ideas and you go experiment. You don't know that they're really going to work yet. So what you want to do is you want to go through what could be like a lean startup or an agile innovation process, and then you can use a lot of different tools here to flesh out those ideas further. You can create a business case. You can create the business model canvas. You can use concept testing to share those concepts with customers and get feedback. You can create experiment canvases to help you figure out what the assumptions are under those ideas. You can create value propositions, and then ultimately maybe a pitch deck that summarizes your business opportunity, or if you're a startup, how you want to get funding, or if you're an internal venture, how you can get stakeholder engagement, support, alignment, and funding for moving something forward. But the goal here is to move through this process, empathize, ideate, prioritize, and experiment as fast as possible, but in the most robust way as possible, given these best practice tools and templates.